Good morning, Facebook people. Hey guys, Phil Gertis here. Hey, listen, we are going to dive in today. I got some awesome stuff to talk about. I learned something new today, and I don't know, maybe I just hadn't paid attention to it before. Maybe I heard it and it wasn't my time to receive it, but wow, that sun is coming. But basically, I learned something new today for me, and maybe you guys have never heard this before. Or maybe you have, and this is just going to be a good reminder. But nonetheless, it is a great morning. It is 7:56 a.m. Eastern Time. It is 44 degrees here in Annapolis, Maryland, and woo, I'm bundled up. I'm bundled up. So oh, by the way, this would be a really good one, not to just keep for yourself, but to give away to somebody. So this is the time where you want to share or post or whatever you do, you know, to make this show up on your feed. But good morning, everybody. Hey, it's going to be really good. It's not going to take that long because I just finished at the gym, and man, I love getting up crack of dawn and getting to the gym. It feels so good, and really you feel good for the rest of the day. At least I feel really good for the rest of the day. So, but listen, here's the. Let's turn this heat down a little bit. It's getting a little warm. But here's the deal. I have in my life, and even recently in my life, had to say to myself, or have had to say to myself, everything is going to be okay, right? So some people say everything's going to be okay and they believe it. Some people say everything's going to be okay and they don't. Some people say that, or some people have others say that to them, have other people say everything's going to be okay, don't worry, right? For me, personally, the process to which I go through when facing a hardship is typically always the same, right? The first thing I do is I get upset, just like most people. But once I'm through getting upset, I got to make this turn here, guys. Once I'm through getting upset and I move past myself, what I do is I tell myself everything's going to be okay. Usually it's my wife first that will tell me that, but then I have to tell myself that everything's going to be good. I begin to put a plan together. I begin to move in a direction towards action that will yield me the results that I'm looking for, at least the actions that I believe will yield me the results that I'm looking for. But what I didn't mention is somewhere in between being really upset and beginning to make my plan and acting on my plan, I give it to God. Now, this is something that I've done for some time, and I've really made it a point to truly give it to God. You know, there's always, at least in my life, there have always been these times where I believed I was giving my worries, my issues, my strengths, my weaknesses, my ups, my downs, I was giving it to God and saying, God, I trust in you to guide me through this, or walk me through this, or even carry me through this. But there have been times that I've believed that, but I really haven't done it. I haven't really poured myself into that belief. And as of late, I've gotten better and better and better, but it's taken a lot of practice. When I say a lot of practice, I don't mean I ran across 2 or 3 issues, and after 2 or 3 issues, I was on it. Right, I was a master of what of giving it to God, but after years of living, after years and years and years of just living, and ultimately living in a space where each time a hardship presented itself, I looked to give it to God. After years of that, I've come to realize, and this has been really amazing, I've come to realize that I can just 100% give it to God. Eliminate worry, eliminate doubt, put my faith that He's guiding me, carrying me, walking me through, and then just move forward, right? Move forward with a plan, move forward with action, move forward with development, move forward with kicking the tail out of hardship. I heard a story today, and when I heard this story, I was a little bit taken aback because I never knew this. I never knew this story. So here's the thing. I heard the story of David and Goliath, and obviously this isn't the first time I've heard the story of David and Goliath. You know, I grew up in church and everything else, and whether you grew up in church or not, most people have heard the story of David and Goliath. No matter what someone's religious beliefs are, most people have heard the story of David and Goliath. So I heard the story of David and Goliath this morning, but when I heard it, I heard something that I hadn't heard before, and maybe it's, again, because I didn't listen. Maybe it's because I wasn't listening. Maybe it's because I heard it, but it never resonated with me. But I heard that when David went to face Goliath, now there was part of this that I already knew. Goliath had his sword, his armor, and everything else, but David said, I'm here to fight you, ultimately not verbatim, but David said, I'm here to fight you with God, with the power of God, right? When Goliath said, how is this puny guy gonna beat me? He doesn't even have armor. He doesn't have a sword. He's not of the military, right? David said, I'm here to fight you with the power of my God. But here's something that I hadn't noticed before. I hadn't heard before. I didn't pick up on. David actually took his sling and picked up not one, not two, not three, four, but 5 smooth stones. 5 smooth stones. As soon as I hear this, it dawns on me that as confident as David was portraying himself as being, as confident as David said, oh, you know what, I got this. He told the general, he told his brothers, he told everyone around, I've got this. I'm going to win the gold, the spoils, the treasure. I'm going to win the king's wife, daughter. I'm going to do it all, right? As confident as he was, he really doubted himself. And ultimately, because he said, I'm pouring into God and trusting God, he was ultimately doubting God, right? That's immediately what I was saying to myself. Like, wow, even David, when exclaiming to the world that he's fighting with the power of God, he still had this little bit of doubt. And then I heard the rest of the story. Goliath had 4 brothers. Goliath had 4 brothers that were just as big, just as strong, just as well-trained as he was. David was never doubting. He was preparing for future hardship. David never said to himself, well, no, I'm not. This might not work out as planned. No, he said, once I slay Goliath, should his brothers come to test me, I'll do the same to them. So let me prepare myself. Let me not look for what I'm going to do, but instead let me prepare myself now, just in case, once I defeat this hardship, another one should quickly arise. My goodness gracious. When I heard that, I was blown away, and I said to myself, well, how's that possible? How is it possible that he didn't have that doubt? But then if you listen more and remember parts of the story, you remember that David actually fought lions. He fought lions with his bare hands, right? He had to trust in God before. It wasn't that it was the first time David came across a huge hardship, so he said, I 100% trust in God, and actually meant it, felt it, and never felt doubt. No, over and over and over and over and over again, he was put in a place to prepare. Some of us are saying, how come things keep coming up against me? Some of us are saying, how come it just seems hard all the time? My goodness, folks, listen to me now. God is getting you ready for your Goliath, and just in case, his 4 brothers too. You hear what I'm saying? This is amazing. So every time, you've talked about the bow and arrow, right? God's got to pull you back, because the further he pulls you back, you are the arrow. The further he pulls you back on that rope of hardship, boom, the further you'll propel forward when he releases you. Every time, God allows you, because ultimately it's his will. He's allowing you to go through a hardship. I want you to understand that if you can get through those moments, having ultimate faith, not doubting, doing your best to say, God's got this. And don't sit back on the couch and just twiddle your thumbs. No. It's not this. It's not this. It's not this. No, then you put your plan together. You attack your plan. You see, every time David had to fight a lion, he got better. If you will pour yourself into that idea that whatever you're going through today, whatever you might have went through yesterday, whatever you see coming up against you at any point is preparation for your Goliath. But when Goliath comes, you will be 100% prepared. Your faith will be stronger than ever. Your doubt will be non-existent. Your skill will be through the roof. Your focus will be unwavering. And your God will be by your side if you accept it as preparation for your Goliath. Nothing's going to stop you. Nothing can, nothing will, nothing might. Folks, this is an incredible story. So prepare now for your Goliath. Pick up not just one stone for the task at hand, the challenge at hand, but prepare for his 4 brothers. Take 5. I love you. God bless you. I'm through this morning, and if you didn't get to pick up the entire thing, I'm telling you now, if you didn't get to watch this entire live, folks, go back and watch from the beginning. This is a short one, but man, this was powerful. It's powerful for me just sharing it. Guys, listen to this whole live. Get it. I love you. God bless you guys. Share it on your wall. Let other people see this. Someone you know that didn't get to see it needs to see this. God bless. We're all through.